back in
we're back.
the room.
Back in the room,
We are
Mr.
back.
Thompson.
We are back, Mr. West. What is this? Episode
79.
Wow.
79, Mr. Thompson.
Right.
And
who'd have thought it?
This episode is for anyone who has, on occasion, reached the what the actual fuck phase when they're dealing with their ADHD and kind of like don't want to talk about it anymore.
No. Stop the ride. I want to get off.
Right. Which I think
kind of thing.
We have kind of we have all had that. I don't know if all of us, but I think it's a very common phase of our ADHD journey.
Exactly. Or as my grandmother used to call it, she was from Stoke. She had a Stoke accent. She said, "Don't worry, Paul. It's just a phrase you're going through.
Just a phrase. It is just a phrase that many of us have gone through.
Going through.
Right. So going from that, like I don't really want to talk about ADHD. This is a podcast episode not talking about ADHD. The irony, Mr. Thompson.
Marvelous.
And I will just say, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Hit it.
For God's sake, what's wrong with you people? Anyway, so let's go to a place where the distractions are landmarks and the detours are the main roads. Welcome to ADHDville.
Yeah, let's go there. Underground, overground, wobbling free. Wombles of Wimbledon, common are we. Making all good of the things that we find, things that the everyday folks leave behind.
Lovely rendition, Paul.
Thanks.
It's you, mate.
It's me, mate. Yes. This episode is. Oh no, that was your bit. Hello, I'm Paul Thompson. I was diagnosed with the combined A and the D and the H and some other letters, crawling towards about 2 years ago.
And I'm Martin West, and I was diagnosed with combined poo-poo platter of ADHD in 2013.
And we are two mates who, by coincidence, open brackets or not, close brackets, comma, after 39 years, or almost 40 years of friendship, discovered that we're co-ADHDers. Who would have thought it? Now, it's really important to say this is an entertainment podcast, Martin, about adult ADHD, adult podcast, and does not substitute for individualized advice from qualified health professionals. And there's plenty of them out there if you need them. So don't take any advice from him
or him.
We're just kind of here as an all-inclusive ADHD park bench, all comfy with pillows or without pillows, you choose, with room for everyone, including your doppelgangers, your alter egos, your buddy doubles, your chaperones, and even your best buddy is still here. Freaking miracle. Congratulations, you've already won a loyalty badge. So grab your jetpacks, your pedalos, space operas, or any other transportation methods, and let's just take you to ADHDville, an imaginary town that we've created in our minds. In our minds. Minds. Where we like to explore different parts of the A, the D, the H, and the D again.
Indeed. And we start off as we have done now in the King's Agitated Head pub.
Yes.
After we failed to win election to be mayors, but we now hang out here in the pub.
I don't like to think it has failed. I think it more as, taking a pause.
All right. Yep. Well, the mayorship of ADHDville will come around again, and we will mount a heroic effort.
Good word. I couldn't have chosen a better expression myself.
Lovely. All right. Well, we start off as we're here and blah blah blah. I've already said that. Yes. But so, what's on the meeting on the meeting agenda? I've got ADHD and what I've come to call hyperfix out.
Oh.
I have invented a term.
I like that.
And I don't know whether this is like it already exists, but I've not heard of it. Hyperfix out. So it's like when you kind of like think that you have ADHD and you find out that you might be, and then you do a lot of research about ADHD, and then you kind of go, "Oh my god, I've and you hyperfixate on your ADHDness."
Yeah.
And then you
can't look at it anymore.
And then you're out.
Then
you're out.
It's like maybe you've picked up a new partner from somewhere. You met her at the disco, and you've obsessed. You've been each other like, in each other's worlds. You've been like, been with each other like solid for 3 months. And you're like really, really into each other. And then one day to the next, you think, oh, can we not just take a little break?
That means we're out.
Right?
Take a break.
Take a break.
I mean, like,
it's not me, it's you. Oh no, it's not you, it's me.
Anyway, so
yes.
Before we kind of actually get into it, we should actually just get into the tractor. We should get into our tractor.
Let's perch our buttocks on the tractor seat.
And we're going to go from the pub. And for once, this mode of transport is going to be great because we're going to the farm. So it feels.
But perfect. We're still going to plough our way through the town square.
Oh, yeah, just dig up those roads.
Solving the pothole problem.
Yeah. All right, jump in, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, perching my buttock.
Let's get going.
Doesn't get any more comfortable, this time.
No. Here we are at the farm. And if you listen carefully, you can hear those farmyard animals and birds and shit.
Shit. Are you like me, Martin? Shit. Are you like me, Martin? That the older I get, the more I'm into the idea of a small holding.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
With like rare breeds.
Rare breeds of what? Camels?
Goat.
Giraffe. Oh, giraffe. Oh, goats.
Yes. Goat, llamas,
right.
Maybe a pig,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A pig or two, and some in the vegetable patch. Maybe, supplying to the local market some rare, long forgotten vegetables and berries and stuff. Logan berries.
Heirloom plants.
Yeah.
Well, I'm part of the way there because I've just literally planted from seed about 50 heirloom tomato varieties, as well as a bunch of other stuff as well. So I've got about at least 100, 200. I've got 100 varieties of plants.
Holy,
they're all sprouting.
Moly!
Yeah.
Have you got into that thing? You can make your own like mushroom growing towers. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that's on the cards. We are that will be for this year as well. We will be growing mushrooms as well.
Wow, sounds like I need to make a visit.
You should, mate. You should
over to
come
your
over
gaff.
and eat shit. All right. So yeah. So we are we are talking about that. Because the reason why this topic came up was because you were diagnosed with ADHD a year and a year and a half, maybe year and something.
A bit more than a year and a half, yeah.
Right. And I can remember at 1 or 2 points you've kind of gone, I'm
done with it.
I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Stop the ride. I want to get off. Yeah, because we started. Well, about this. Okay, let's backtrack a bit. About a week or 2 weeks before my diagnosis, I called you, Martin, or you called
An
me,
arsehole.
or yes, and I said, well, there's not like really podcasts out there that really resonate for like the mature,
The
really
mature gentleman.
late diagnosed, but like really freaking late diagnosed. And you said to me, why don't you do it, Paul? And I said, why don't we do it, Martin? And it went from
Mm-hmm.
there. But which was all great, fine and dandy. But we literally started podcasting the same week I got my diagnosis. And it was like full on,
Mm-hmm.
like discovery, insights, reframing, rebadging,
Yep.
rebadgering,
Yeah. All those badges
digging
got.
up, all of
Yeah.
those kind of things. And so at some point, it's like, oh my God,
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
It's a
It
lot,
was
mate.
like breaking into a sweet shop at midnight
Mm-hmm.
and gorging
Num 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 num.
on all the sherbet dib dabs and the chocolate and everything
Curly
else.
whirly. Yeah.
Curly whirlies,
Walnut
topics. Do you
whip.
remember the topics?
Yeah.
Double deckers,
Twix. Yeah.
Twix, Twiglets,
Yeah. Flying
anything with
saucers.
flying saucers. Yeah.
Remember them?
Or you just I get sometimes just a quarter of sherbet.
You know what? I can remember, which I think you can still get it, but there'd be like smoking stuff as candy. So you could buy a little
Yes.
packet of
Yes,
candy cigarettes,
Mhm.
and you would have like a licorice pipe. It was like a
Yes.
licorice, and it had like little
Totally.
red aniseed balls on the end.
Mhm.
And you even had rolling tobacco. I think it was called golden something, and it was like coconut flavored.
Wow,
Nuts.
never saw that. Never saw that. Coconuts.
Yeah, it was like coconut.
No, you said nuts,
bits.
and I said coconuts.
Oh, I see. I see what you did there.
Just wait for that to land a second. Hang on. There he goes. Yeah.
But anyway, so
Anyway,
yes, so you
get
kind
this-
of get sick. So you're hyper focusing, and then you got all this stuff coming at you, and then you kind of
Mhm.
get almost like burnt out, or what
Yeah.
I've coined, you hyperfix out.
Hyperfix out.
Come on, it's gonna happen.
Oh, copyright that.
I'm gonna put that as a TikTok heading,
Yes.
and I'm gonna make that work.
Yes. You need to monetize that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that word, monetize.
Monetize. Well, I like the money. It's
Yes.
the
It's the
tizing part that is the
Yeah.
is the annoying bit.
Exactly. Anything with the zedding, I've I don't know. I have my reservations about zedding. Anyway,
Right.
so yeah, and I think we got to a point where I think I said, Martin, I really need a break. And
Right.
lucky we had like 4 or 5 episodes in the bag under our
Mhm.
belt, and I took a break. And I think I went to Palermo as well at that time.
Right.
I did
Yeah.
some work in Palermo.
I mean, I can remember when I got my ADHD diagnosis back in 2013, there was like, yeah, I bought a book, I went online, I learned about stuff,
Mhm.
and then then it slid off. I mean, I was on meds, so I just had meds, and that was a thing. And then it kind of like pretty much died a death until well, I mean, it was very low.
It died a death, or you just dropped
No,
the radar.
Right, my kind of research into
Okay.
it, kind of, if stuff came at me through the internet or
Right.
whatever, then I was like, okay, fine. And then it wasn't until TikTok came along and I kind of got onto that it started to really pick up again.
Yeah.
Because there were people kind of giving advice or hacks or tips, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then when you said, mate, mate, I might have ADHD, mate. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And then obviously doing this podcast, I'm in that same place where it's like, oh, suddenly every week I'm researching stuff.
Yeah.
But I had already gone through my period where I kind of put it on the back burner. So I didn't.
Right.
So
You were.
I'm now
You already.
in like Flint.
You already went through a phrase,
I went through my own phrase, mate.
and
Yeah.
now you're into the longer
And now I'm like, yeah, no,
paragraph.
I can live this.
So do you? But do you get? Do you get like how could I put it? Well, you put it. You've given it a freaking name. Do you get
Hyperfixate.
then
Yeah.
hyperfix out? Do you get it? Do you get that? It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah. So
yeah,
well, that's what I was just saying, that that I got my diagnosis, and then after my initial hyperfixating, I kind of like put it on the back burner for quite a few years. So 2013, got onto TikTok about 2020, I guess.
yeah.
So that was like 7 years where
Right.
it was.
But do you
just
get that now though?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't. I don't get it now. No, but
Right.
I've already ticked that box, and now I'm kind of much more. It's now part of my everyday life, and I quite like it, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I suppose. I think we've got. I mean, we've got like hopefully a guest coming up that's like teed up, and she's quite a well-known journalist and well-known ADHD, and she's talked about it a lot, ADHD, and she said, she said, yeah, I'm up for doing a guest appearance, but she said, to be fair to her, she said, I kind of get a bit fed up talking about it, and she's got like her limit about how much she wants to hear herself talking about it, which I totally get.
Right.
I totally get it.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of feel like, go on.
It to me the it's similar to when you go and see a shrink, and you make your first appointment, and then there's like an investment, in you're like nasal gazing for at least a couple of years if you want to really do it properly, even with the best of psychologists, it takes its time, and that nasal gazing, and it's quite it's hard work, right?
Right.
And you're looking forward to the time when it's like, God, can I stop nasal gazing? Can I stop
Right.
thinking about why and if and what if?
I think another kind of reason is not only do you get bored, but you're kind of talking about it with everyone else, right?
Yeah.
With those that are close to you, and then they can be interested or not for a bit, but it's not really their thing, so they kind of tend to like their interest kind of wanes and dies off. Or you might have some people that are kind of outwardly like, no, you're talking
bullshit.
You don't have ADHD, so therefore you kind of like you get a bit of you're open to rejection from everyone else, and then you kind of like just kind of like almost like end up shutting it down yourself because of external people,
which it also goes against if you're had a late diagnosis like me and you almost want to like shout from the freaking hills, and most of the world's not only doesn't want it, they're not ready for it, or at best they don't want to continually hear about it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like you want to like it's like I don't know, discovering that or admitting you're coming out as being gay and keeping it under wraps for years and years, and you get to a point where fuck this, I want it, just let it all out, but the world isn't necessarily ready for you doing that.
Right. And I think sometimes you aren't ready yourself, so that's why you kind of go, I'm out, I can't deal with all of this stuff, so I'm just going to kind of like put it onto the back burner for a while, and
Yeah.
because you yourself are not ready to kind of make that transition from a
Mm-hmm.
non ADHD person, if you like, to someone who
That's a good
who
point.
who um, who
Yeah.
lives it.
Yeah.
Because as you say, there is a kind of a. I mean, I'm not gay, so I am speculating here, but
Mm-hmm.
it seems like, as you say, you're in the closet for a while, and you might even try and reject the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then
Or suppress it.
at some point there could be a transition. You come out, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have a whole different bunch of friends and community that you kind of build up.
Yeah.
But that transition is not easy. It's not easy to kind of go
Yeah.
from I'm normal,
Yeah.
or you think
It's
that
not
you're
on.
normal.
It's not an on-off switch, is it?
No, no, you have to take a bloody great run up
It's
at
more of
it.
a. It's more of a dimmer switch.
Yeah,
And
right.
well, it's interesting what you're saying. Yeah, about what were you saying? Yeah,
I was saying stuff.
being
Words,
yeah.
mostly.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. I remember when I started some sessions with a psychologist, and she was giving me loads of like suggestions about what I could do, and um, ideas about how I could like manage my, that time of my life, and 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 loads of tools, potentially loads of tools to help me. I wasn't ready to use them,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
it's not as it's a good point actually. It's very profound, Martin. This
It
that
is really.
you're not always ready to let it go.
Right.
Let
Also, I
that
think.
thing go that you've been living by a rule book for all these years, and letting go that, oh, I lived by it. I've been suppressing my real self all these years, and letting
Yeah.
go, I suppose, of a bit of the shame in that of
Hmm.
suppressing yourself.
Yeah. No. I mean, it does feel like, if you've gone through if you've gone through something big, like a grief, it
Hmm.
feels like
Totally.
it feels very similar to that, in that
Hmm.
there's a sort of a, you know um there's a journey to the acceptance, of which part of it is like this kind of overwhelm part. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
um that you kind of start off as this kind of, you know unaware, in this unaware phase, right, where you
Yeah.
just think that you're sketchy and flaky, and that
Hmm.
you're struggling, and that you're not
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you
it's
go to
interesting.
the
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
and I'll say, and then you kind of get to the curiosity stage, which is like,
Hmm.
wait, what? Do I have something? Then there's the
Hmm.
hyperfixation on the ADHD. Then there's the rejection, which is the rejection, and the doubt, and
Yeah.
the identity, the identity crisis, which I know
That's
you've
true.
talked about before, where you're like,
Well, who
well,
the fuck
who
was
who
I
am
all
I
these
then?
years? Yeah.
Who am I? And you're
Who are
like,
you,
I'm
Paul?
right.
With those
I'm,
strange glasses, which, by the way, can I just say, I want
oh
to
yeah.
trade these glasses. I put these new glasses on for comedy effect, but actually they're an old prescription, and I'm starting to get a headache. So I'm going to put the old
Oh,
ones back on. Oh, that's
oh,
better.
there's Paul. He's back.
That's better.
I don't know who that other guy was earlier with
Yeah,
the
it's
round
just
glasses,
it's
but
some kind of
he
fake
was
version of me,
he was a
which is
wanker.
strong. Which is a
I'm just
yeah.
saying. I
It's
didn't
like,
like
who the
him
hell
much.
were you, Paul, with those glasses?
I don't
Well,
know
that
who he
was
was.
Paul. That was the old Paul before his diagnosis. That's who he was, with the
Oh, I
weird
see.
glasses.
I see.
Yeah, you see. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to give that up. My sister, hello, Jane,
Hello, Jane.
and we have had a conversation. My skin and blister, which is
Mm-hmm.
Cockney rhyming slang, London dialect for saying skin and blister, sister. I've had a conversation with her because I, think she's classic female version of me, she was diagnosed with antidepressants for years and years and years, and I'm convinced that she's been misdiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put it out there. I totally think that, and I've said it to her. So please, Jane, go and see someone, because I think it's possible that you've been misdiagnosed all of these years, and she
Mm-hmm.
hasn't seen anyone. This is months
Right.
have passed. And I wonder, I don't know, I don't want to second guess her thoughts, but I wonder if it's a bit of this thing that she doesn't want to give in to the idea that she's um, been misdiagnosed all of these years. Held on to a belief that actually wasn't accurate. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
that's not easy to give up when you get to like 59, 58, 59.
Right. Because I think because like if you get diagnosed with something, it does kind of become part of your identity in a way. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
you tend
Yes.
to think of yourself as someone
Mm.
who is autistic or
Oh,
has
that's
ADHD, or
interesting.
so if you think of yourself as someone who is depressed, for example, that you have
Yes.
a depressive disorder, like that's
It's
part of who you are. So
That's
giving that up,
interesting.
there's always going to
Yeah.
be a bit of reluctance
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
that.
It's like the lies become part of your identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, lie may be a strong word, but the yeah,
Yeah. No.
can't
Yeah.
think of a
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
word. But I mean, that's a bit strong. But it resonates for me at least. I don't want to second guess my sister, but but
But
the signs are like humongous, and I hope that she will get a diagnosis.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. So that kind of like, oh, I'm bored. I want to stop this. I want to get off.
It's exhausting. ADHD, you already suffer from burnout, fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I mean, there's the benefits of being diagnosed as late in your life as we have. Definitely, because you feel like you've gone through the hoops by now. But
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
it just also means at the same time you've got a lot of more years to reframe.
Yes. Yeah.
So the grieving thing that you talked about, Martin, there's more to grieve.
Yeah. There is more. There's
There's
so much
more.
more.
What's more? I was listening to someone on a podcast this week. Actually, I was driving between clients, and they said that she has an autism or ADHD clinic in the UK. She said she's got clients that are in their 70s and have been diagnosed with ADHD or autism. And she said the first reaction is anger. It's extremely common, just that anger and frustration. It's like, what the hell, you know? But I suspect anger with themselves too, I think. But no,
Yeah.
that's probably not true, because
Well,
it's not been on our radar, has it?
it
If
isn't.
at our age,
I think
our generation.
it tends to pop up as like as regret and
Mm,
a loss about what could have been.
yes.
All of that stuff.
And if I'd been luckier and I'd had it misdiagnosed, 30 years before, and enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
more life with the new me, the
Yeah.
reframed me.
Yeah. So on that journey, unawareness to unawareness to curiosity to discovery, and you hyperfixate, and then you kind of then there's the rejection, doubt, identity crisis part, and then at some point there's a sort of and there's the acceptance part. Now, I think the important, like that's where you start to kind of come to terms with it, right? Where you kind of start to kind of, I would say that accepting ADHD isn't, I have ADHD. That's just the kind of start of it. It's the, can you incorporate that into your life? Can you work around it? Can you see how it works? Can you, so it becomes part of your life. Can you start
to change the dialogue? Can you start to change the dialogue in your head about, why you do things in a certain way?
Right. It's almost like, like I have a cold, I have ADHD, right? There's a sort of a separation when you, but at some point you kind of go, no, I am ADHD. This is who I am. It's not a thing that's gone wrong or it's actually just who I am. Yeah. And the acceptance process, I guess, is just adjusting everything in your life so that it works for you rather than being against you, right? That at that point.
I guess what comes to mind now is you kind of, a lot of people grow up, whether you're neurodiverse or not, grow up feeling like you're misunderstood, by other people. But in the case of ADHD, there's like it's a double whammy. You misunderstood yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who am I?
My God,
I know. Yeah. So like you can either kind of like go down the acceptance road, or you can just continually like
fight
it and block it out.
And there are people out there that fight it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There are people out there. It's not talked about very often in the ADHD community. There are people that reject it aggressively, and there is I think a big percentage of undiagnosed ADHD or ADHD people that will reject it because they not only don't want to take it on, they don't want to take it on, but even the thought of taking it on.
Right. I would even say that it doesn't even have to be undiagnosed. It can be diagnosed ADHD.
Also,
and then you kind of go, I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And I just want to be normal. So I'll just carry on doing all the coping, masking and all of that stuff.
Or even mask even more than it did before.
Well, yeah, because there's this little voice in the back of the head going, "Oi, mate, you've got ADHD, mate.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to be?
What's that all about?
What were you doing?"
Yeah.
I know. So,
letting the worms out of the can.
Yeah,
let's put those worms back, shall we?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, it brings me on to like the other thing of not hyper focusing on ADHD anymore. I think they get to a point for many people who aren't doing podcasts about it, for example, when you've actually kind of like accepted ADHD and you're integrating it into your life, and you've seen all the TikToks and you've listened to all the fucking podcasts and you've watched all the YouTube videos, and they kind of go, okay, I've got it. No one's really saying much new anymore.
Yeah,
I've got it, and basically, I'm just going to kind of like not hyperfixate on it anymore. I'm just going to kind of like live it, and and you just get bored of talking about it because it's like, no, this is just who I am. I don't have to keep yapping on about 5 signs of that you have ADHD.
I guess what comes to mind with that is, if I was to give anyone advice, if they're about to be diagnosed and they kind of know that they only need the diagnosis to have the rubber stamp. or people that have had recently have the diagnosis and are about to go through this period that we're talking about. The advice I would give is give it time to land.
Mm-hmm.
Give it time. You've had enough time, dealing with not knowing, and enough time dealing with feeling like you're from another planet. So now is definitely the time. Give yourself a break, take care of yourself, and give it time. And
Mm-hmm.
it goes against being ADHD, because it's like having a shiny new toy, and you don't have the patience to like let it run its course, and develop and let the insights and the reframing happen naturally. No, you want it all now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just not how it is. So give
Yeah.
it. I would give if I was giving myself advice, the Paul of 18 months ago, I would say, give it time to land.
Yeah. There's a Phil Collins song that just sprung into my mind, which was
Oh, God,
"You
right.
can't hurry self-love. No, you just have to wait. They say
Right,
self-love doesn't
yes.
come easy.
See,
It's a
it's
game of
just
give
a
and take." Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um.
Diana Ross
Oh
originally.
yeah. Was it? Yes.
Yeah,
I know that he was doing a cover for
Diana
sure.
Ross and the Temptations. No, not the
Ooh,
Temptations.
Diana Ross and the Supremes.
And the Supremes. The Supreme
Right.
Temptations. Yeah.
Ah, like a Twix or a Curly Whirly.
Oh,
That's the
Shubba-dib-dab.
that's supreme temptation.
Yes.
I would also say that although if you've actually got this far in the podcast,
Congratulations already.
you aren't these people, right? But
Yeah.
but it might be that at some point in the future you kind of go, yeah, no, I don't need to kind of get so involved in all this ADHD
Yeah.
community stuff. Yeah,
Shenanigans.
it's done its job, and
Yeah.
now I kind of like, and I'm cool, and so you don't have to feel guilty about losing interest in ADHD. You don't have to kind
No.
of feel like,
Yeah.
I've lost interest in the ADHDville podcast. Honestly, right?
Yeah.
If people came into the ADHDville podcast and was like,
Yeah.
I'm interested in ADHD, and they learn a bunch, and after a year or two or something, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
8 episodes, they kind of go, you know what? I'm
I
good.
think minimum 11. 11. Can we say 11?
Oh, that would be awesome. If you could just listen to 11 episodes, that'd be great.
Yes.
And then after, if you've done 11 and
Yeah.
you want to wander off and not
Totally
listen
get
to
it.
us anymore, big
Yes.
thumbs up. Our job is done, Paul. Our job is
Exactly.
done. Being part of the
Job-
ADHD
Job's a good one.
right.
Totally get it.
And also, I would say that the point of this podcast was ADHD can be boring, right? It can be boring.
Yeah.
And
Especially to your potentially neurodivergent partners. That's a bit of an elephant in the room. It's like you're going through this period, and if your partner is not neurodivergent, you've got to hope that they've got the patience of saints, or that they're just they're also neurodivergent. They just like haven't got to that point yet to get a diagnosis. But either way, it can be really boring to them. To you, it's a shiny new toy, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck? And you're on a roller coaster, and they're waiting for you, with a limp floss candy, at the end of the ride, just waiting for you to arrive, and they've already turned the lights out.
All right, and
you're still on the roller coaster. Whoa!
And they're like hoping that you'll come off and be fixed and be normal. You're like, no, I'm on this roller coaster forever,
forever and ever. Oh man,
I'm never gonna get off.
Can we go round again so I can puke from the high point?
That's right. And I'm going to be puking from the low points as well. It's going to be pukey. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, that's a hard one. I find myself sometimes, I've had in the past, I've had an insight really fucking profound insight about my past, my
Mhm.
ADHD past, and I'm like thinking, oh, can I? My girlfriend's like sitting in front of me, like, oh, shall I share that or not? That's hard, you know. You
Mhm.
want to get it out there, and like fucking hell, and you feel like she doesn't want to hear that, at this
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
God,
I
that's
feel like I
hard. That's a hard part as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna kind of say way back before the roller coaster and stuff
Mm.
that
And the candy floss.
and the candy floss is that yeah, if people leave our podcast because they're kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
they've got everything that we could, then fantastic. I will
Yeah.
give you a big thumbs up if you don't have to listen to us anymore,
Yeah.
and don't feel guilty. But as I said, ADHD can be quite boring, which is why you
Yes.
and me, Paul, try
Mm.
not make it boring. We
Yeah.
try in our own
Yeah.
little humble little way for it to
Mm.
not to be dull, and
Yes.
so that we're giving advice and stuff from our
Mm.
perspective,
Yeah.
but but with some
It's
anecdotes and fun and candy floss along the way.
exactly. We're not, let's talk about the a bit of elephant in the room. Our numbers are not good. And we were talking about this before we came on to record this evening's.
They're
Well,
rubbish, to be
it's
honest.
it's evening here in Italy. We haven't got the numbers, and we don't care. It would be nice to have the numbers, but we we said right from the start, okay, how are we going to measure our success?
Hmm.
And our success, we always agreed that me and Martin, we have some fun. Hopefully we can drag a few people along the way, and also get some fun out of it and some nourishment,
Like a Twix
like Twigs.
or a Curly
Yeah.
Wurly
Oh yes,
or a
exactly.
Haribo.
Oh, I've got some cheese puffs in front of me actually
All right.
that I
So
haven't finished yet.
you have a bottle of wine and some cheese puffs. That's
Yes.
very continental of you, Mr.
I'm
Thompson.
a very classy man.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
I
But
have my green tea.
yeah, I mean, our figures are not. We don't have the big productions. We don't have big bucks behind this, But we have a whale of a time, and we hope. What we hope is that people discover us, and they dip in and out as they like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which now that we're speaking of other people, maybe we should get back into the track to
Oh
go
yes.
head to the post office and
Okay.
listen to some lovely words that people who actually like us have said about us.
Do they exist?
Yes. Get in, Paul. Let's go.
I know. There's a few.
Oh, post office.
Post
God damn you.
office. So this is my bit, isn't it?
Yeah. all about
Your
you, Paul.
feedback is vital to us. We read all of the comments, all of them, 100%.
Yeah.
And we might read yours out on a future podcast, like this one from. This is your bit, Martin.
Oh, I'll do. Okay, so a new subscriber at Death Do Us Part -Harmony.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to ADHDville.
Welcome.
And she
Welcome
wrote a
to
rather
our
nice.
ample bosom and our broad church that is ADHDville.
I was say I'm a flat-chested ex-mayor. I can barely fill an A cup. But she wrote a rather nice long message which ended with so that was the episode about hypermobility,
Yes.
which was episode 78. She
Which
said,
no one is. It's like it's not out there much at all. I feel like we're on the vanguard of
I know.
this discussion.
I know. So she wrote a lot. She said, "Thanks for taking the time to cover this subject."
Mhm.
And we have Alexandra over there in Greece, modern Greece, not the
Modern
ancient
Greece.
one, the modern Greece.
Modern Greece.
Again, love her comments. And she one thing that she did say about hypermobility was, "I think I might have this." So there we go. We are pointing
Twice.
people
Go
in
back
the
and if you
direction.
haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it, because if you are ADHD or ADHD or just autistic, you have twice as much chance of having hypermobility as a
Right.
normal what is that?
A neurobeige,
Neurobeige people. Yeah,
neuro
twice as likely.
vanilla.
Neurovanilla. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Where are we now? 45 minutes. I mean, we could just end here, for example, and just do the
Yes.
outro.
Yes. Or
Um,
I just
or
want to pick up on a thing in the last
yes,
episode. I know this is not, it's not programmed. It's not in the it's not in a script, but
we're off
in the
piste.
last thing we left hanging, as it were,
Yeah.
a discussion about Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, we did. Yes.
We did,
Stretch
yes.
Armstrong.
We did.
Tell us more about Stretch Armstrong.
We left it hanging, or stretching in this case. And anyway, yes, it was. I can confirm Stretch Armstrong was created 1976. Okay.
Right. So
It
I
was-
remember.
Yeah.
So just to kind of like fill anyone in who doesn't know what Stretch Armstrong is,
Yes.
it was a toy that I remember seeing the adverts for in the UK. I'm pretty sure it was also in the States as well. Maybe if it was in the UK, in Europe. And it was like a sort of a plasticky
Yes.
He-Man character.
It arrived in the UK 4 years after it was introduced in the States in 1980.
Oh wow! And you could basically get hold of each of the arms of this kind of
Yes.
of this massive guy, and then just stretch him.
Yes.
And that was it. That was what he did. He just stretched.
You could stretch it out to about 1.5 meters.
Which is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yes,
Thanks to a concept that some guys created. Okay. Oh, guys, what if we created this thing? And it's thanks to this feeling that they had that was made of corn syrup, right?
Okay.
And they basically bought and experimented with vast quantities of syrup, corn syrup they bought from the supermarket, and they finally kind of like found the thing they thought was working. They boiled it down, the syrup, and to get the proper viscosity, Martin, that they wanted, and then they flew to someone's some toy maker's headquarters, and they loved it so much they decided, yes, let's go with it. Okay, and it went from there. Went from Kenner, Kenner, and I think Hasbro then bought it. Okay,
all right.
In 2016, it was relaunched. You can buy it now.
No.
Yes, you can buy it now. Okay,
I'm online.
You can buy it now. It's come out. It's going to be a future quiz, I think, for you, Martin.
Oh, really?
Spoiler alert. Yeah, because there's like many variations. There's like over 20 variations that have come out by Japanese, even, right? Bizarre Japanese variations on it with bizarre names.
Right.
Okay. They were even, get this, Disney bought the rights to the story of Stretch Armstrong, right? Then they sold it, and then Universal Studios bought it. Okay. Right. 4 whole scripts, entire scripts were created to make the films, and then were ditched. In the meantime, Tim Allen and Danny DeVito were both considered for the role.
What, of Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah.
It's just what's the plot? It's just a guy that you stretch.
Yeah.
I'm looking online, Paul. this is going to shock you, but on eBay, as we speak, there is a Stretch Armstrong Kenner 1976 with the original box.
Ooh.
How much do you reckon? How much do you think this particular person?
I'm going to say $600.
This person is trying to get away with $829 American dollars.
Ooh, okay.
For his original
box. It was like originally boxed, unstretched.
Yes.
Okay. And I didn't realise this, but the original version came with its own repair kit. So if you overstretched it, there was a special kind of like, I don't know, silicone substance that you could use to repair him.
Jesus Christ. I never had one. I'm just saying. I'm just going to put it out there that I never had Stretch Armstrong, and I'm glad I didn't, because it looks like one of those things that once I've stretched it, like I've got hold of one of his arms and just stretched it to a meter, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, and yet he could do more.
And yet, I could spend $829 and get him. Yes. He can do more. He can act, apparently. He can act in films.
Yes, like Danny DeVito. That's a strange pick, isn't it, for casting? I mean, Tim Allen's a stretch. Oh, my aching belly with that one.
Nice one. Nice one.
Oh.
51 minutes in. And you
in the eye with a blunt stick.
And you dropped a classic. It's made the last 77 episodes worth it, mate, for that.
Oh, God. Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
I shall spend the rest of the day smiling now.
That's the most exhausting episode we've ever done. Okay. I suppose we should go to the outro, probably.
Right, yes, because we can't do that. So let's just head on out on that. So it just leaves me to say ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most boring.
Yes.
Or most awesome.
Yes.
And feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, there's more. If you want to see our beautiful faces.
Hello.
Then sally forth to the YouTubes.
Or Sally Fields.
And for now, the TikToks. And you can also find us on Substack.
Yes.
And if you want, you can pick
soon
up a quill.
Soon on Blue Sky as well. Very soon.
And we might even relaunch our Instagram page. Anyway,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, so pick up a quill and email us at adhdville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow HDers, know thyself of the house. Come hither and get the flesh.
Oh, that was a. I feel like this is a classic episode, Paul.
It is.
I feel this is top 5.
The cherry
is
just
on the.
That cherry's perching on the top.
There, says the mayor. That's that.
Oh.